Oh, today's message is going to be an update on what's currently happening, but also a message from our ancestors, the spirit helpers. Um, and so I want to start just by giving an update as to where we're currently at. Currently, um, things are moving along. So I want to start by giving you a positive message because I think it's important that we do not get discouraged and that we continue moving forward with our collective efforts. So really it's, partly I guess I'm going to be intertwining the messages from our ancestors because it really doesn't separate from what's currently happening. So on the surface, we're not going to be able to see much of the changes or the shifts that are happening until further down the line. And the reason for that is because the people that obviously are getting cleared out, the energies, the entities, they're not going to go away quietly. So it's going to appear to be, well, it actually is also going to be quite bad. It has been, excuse me, but it might get even a little bit worse before it can completely levels out again. And that's something that I had said in the past in a message, that these entities will not go quietly. They're going to go, kicking, screaming, doing as much damage as they can, and that's where we're at. So don't get discouraged because on the surface it looks really, really bad, and it is. But the point is that it is very important, even more so because of that, that we continue our collective efforts, our prayers, and keep speaking consciousness to the rest of the collective, because currently what I've observed is that there are still a lot of people that have no clue what's going on. So there's a couple of different, how do I explain? I don't want to say people or levels or anything like that, because we're all simultaneously experiencing this just in a slightly different way as individuals. And the reason for that is because what I was shown this weekend, that there are some people that have no clue on what's going on. Then there's the people that know what's going on but don't care. And then there's the people that are aware and want to make a difference. So there's actually, a few different experiences that are simultaneously happening in the collective. So that is why it is so unbalanced in how everybody is reacting, excuse me, reacting or not reacting to what's going on. And so the reason why people are experiencing it in different ways is, yes, there's truth to however whatever our reality is, it's going to determine our experience. And so to give you an example is, I went away for the weekend. I really just needed to get away and restore myself. So I went to Mount Shasta, and the energy there was just extremely powerful, where for the time I was there, I really literally not once thought about what was happening throughout the world. And for me to be able to do that is just nearly impossible, because this has been my mission. It's my assignment. It's my life for the last year and a half. And there's been no rest on my end with the prayers and the energy work into the collective. And so what that allowed me to understand, as a collective in a bigger picture, and for me to understand where everybody's at in their process, is that depending on where they live, what's going on in their immediate life, and what's happened in their upbringing, they're going to have a different experience or understanding of what's going on currently. And that's why there's those different types, or different ways of experiencing what's happening. So while I was up there, I was surrounded by this amazing beauty, that of nature. And so I was in a whole different state of mind. I was in a different energy, and everything there just allowed me to be completely present and disconnected from the reality of what's happening globally. And that was very interesting because that helped me understand why some people have no clue. And so then that allowed me to understand how to navigate through these times as a collective a little bit better and bring this message to you guys. And to let you guys know that there is more work to be done because of the people that we haven't reached. And so the important message to take from this is that it is not for us to push things on people, but it is very important to bring awareness to those corners of the world, or the people that do not necessarily know what's happening. Because what I was shown, and this is what the part of Spirit's saying, is although it's not in their immediate reality, it is still affecting them without them realizing. And the reason why is because eventually, if this is not contained here, if it's not stopped, it's going to spread out into those peaceful parts of Earth. So I'll give you an analogy or an example. It's like when you have a fire, and there's either a contained fire, and it's for good, it's for warmth, it's to cook food, it's to just kind of maintain the surrounding areas of the home, so it's a controlled fire. Or then there's a wildfire where it's not controlled, and eventually, no matter where it begins, it's going to affect a big portion of the world, just like we've had in the recent times. It started in one end, and but in a few days, months even, it lasted. It reached in the higher parts of the mountains and cities, and it went throughout everywhere. And so, even though people think it's not part of their reality, or it's not affecting them because out of sight, out of mind, or whatever they don't focus on is not going to affect them, that's not always true. And that's what Spirit's telling me, is that it is important that everybody is aware, because it's going to eventually affect them if it's not stopped now. So it is a collective and a global duty to be able to participate in this ascension that we're all collectively experiencing. So even though we're experiencing this shift slightly different, it's still affecting us all, because we're all webbed into the same web, is what they're saying. So know that your efforts are helping, even though you don't see it on the surface, but we're not done. And so they're saying what they want, they meaning the other, the not so nice entities, want is for us to be tired, for us to be exhausted and give up, and for us to accept and just surrender. And although I know many of us are, have gotten pushed to that limit, including myself, it is important that we don't stop, because right now we're at that breaking point, that breaking point of just pushing ourselves over that, to the other side. And they know that, they see that, and it's panicking them. So there is going to be slightly more destruction, but it's important that we continue to share this conscious awareness as to what's going on, and continue to hold the light and speak truth, but do it in a loving way from our heart space. So it's not to bring fear, because remember, the fear is what lowers vibration. So it's important to share knowledge based on I guess facts, and facts is kind of, for me, questionable, because it depends where it's coming from nowadays, right? But use discernment, is what they say. Use your discernment and share the things that the people that are critical or in denial will help them at least question or wonder. And so it's not pushing fear. It's not by pushing fear, because that triggers people, and then that also lowers vibration. So go into your heart space and ask yourself, if I read this or if I saw this, how would I react? How would my energy feel? And so if it doesn't align with high vibration, then maybe switch it into a way where it's bringing awareness as to bringing people together. So that's very important, is what they're saying. But whatever you do, just please continue your prayers, continue, the energy work, lighting your candles. All of it is working. All of it is working. So I just wanted to give you that quick update, and I'll do my best to bring you more as things come in. But quite honestly, right now it's just mostly a waiting game as to who's going to give in. And so again, it's very important that we stay strong and that we replenish ourselves as needed. So it's okay to pause, take a break. It's actually very important and needed for you to do that so that you are able to continue moving forward. And the last thing that I want to just speak into is just remember, as we ascend, it doesn't mean that we're going into a different realm or leaving this world or anything like that. Ascension is conscious awareness, and it actually means you being grounded. So when you are grounded, you're consciously aware of what's happening, is the ascension. Some people have it confused, thinking the ascension is going to, somehow magically you're going to portal into somewhere else. The portal is here, and it's happening now in this realm, but the whole energy is shifting, and it's very important that you maintain yourself grounded, because grounding is a huge part of your shifting, because it's bringing that awareness. So I hope that made sense. Until next time, blessings and love. Aho.